Hi, this is me, Natasha Solanki, once again here with another lesson. I'm currently working as lecturer in zoology at Government Girls Degree College, Jacobabad. So today my topic is carbohydrates. This topic belongs to chapter number 2, Introduction to Biochemistry, and the subject is zoology and the class is first year. Introduction. That's what carbohydrates are. Carbohydrates are the biochemicals needed by the body to perform various functions and maintenance. Carbohydrates are the organic compounds that contain carbon as the basic element in their structure. They perform a series of functions, and the first and foremost important of them is provision of energy to our body. These are the organic compounds. They contain carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, wherein carbon is the backbone of their structure, and hydrogen and oxygen are found in 2:1 as in water. The hydrogen is always in double amount than oxygen. Therefore, we can also call them hydrated carbons. They are generally called as sugar or saccharine due to their sweet taste, except polysaccharides, because polysaccharides are tasteless or they are without any taste. The general formula for carbohydrates is CnH2n and OH. Now come towards the classification. First of all, I must clear that carbohydrates are classified on the basis of monomers they contain. Carbohydrates are further classified into two types. The first one is simple carbohydrates and the other one is complex carbohydrates. The simple carbohydrates are further classified into two types, the monosaccharides and disaccharides. The word monosaccharides is derived from the Greek language, and it is the combination of two words where mono means one and saccharon means sugar unit. The monosaccharides are further classified into glucose, fructose and galactose. The other class of simple carbohydrates is disaccharides. Disaccharides, again, word comes from the Greek language where di means two, saccharon means sugars. These sugar units, or this class has the three types that contain two sugar units. The first one is maltose, the other one is sucrose, and the third one is lactose. Now the second class is complex carbohydrates. We call them complex because they contain as many as up to 1000 units in their chain. Complex carbohydrates are further classified into starch. Starch is always found in plants and it provides energy to plants and human beings that utilize those plants. And the other one is glycogen. Glycogen is also called as animal starch because the functions that starch performs in the plants is same performed by the glycogen in animals. Therefore, we call them animal starch, and it is also found in human beings. Whatever functions they perform, glycogen performs in animals, same function that glycogen performs in human beings. The third type is fiber. Now come towards the definition of classes. The monosaccharides are the simplest carbohydrates. We can also call them simple sugar. Because they cannot be further hydrolyzed, we cannot simply break down them like we cannot break down atom into further particles. Therefore, we cannot break down the monosaccharides because they will lose their identity if we further break down them. So they cannot be further hydrolyzed, and they are simple carbohydrates. The examples are glucose, fructose, galactose and ribose sugar. The other class, disaccharides. Disaccharides, di means two, saccharon means sugar units. They are two monosaccharides bonded together through covalent bond. And the examples are sucrose, that we always call as table sugar, lactose, that is called generally as milk sugar. Now the third thing that you can see in the list is oligosaccharides. Basically, disaccharides are derived from oligosaccharides, but we cannot call it a separate class. We call disaccharide a separate class. Oligosaccharide is an addition to them. Word oligosaccharide also belongs to the Greek language where oligo means few, saccharon means sugar units. Here, few monosaccharides are covalently bonded together. They are covalently linked together. The third class is polysaccharides, and again polysaccharide word comes from the Greek language where poly means many, saccharon means sugar units, and in this chain many monosaccharides are linked together. They cannot be split into many monosaccharides they can be split into many monosaccharides with acid or enzymes, and examples are starch, cellulose, and glycogen. Starch stems found in the plants. Stem cellulose is also found in the plants. In cellulose is a major constituent of the cell walls of plant cells, and the glycogen is found in the animals. Now come towards the monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are the simple sugars. They are white crystalline sweet solids soluble in water. They are found in fruits and vegetables. They are further classified on the basis of number of carbon atoms. The first class of monosaccharides is glucose. It is found in honey, sweet corn, ripe fruits, and starch. The other type of monosaccharides is fructose. It is also called as fruit sugar. In sugarcane, both glucose and fructose are found in combined state. And the third class of monosaccharides is galactose. It is found in milk. Now come towards the disaccharides. Disaccharides contain two monosaccharides. They are covalently bonded together. The common disaccharides are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Sucrose is found in sugarcane and beetroot. Sucrose can be manufactured by combining glucose and fructose. When we combine them, resultantly we get sucrose. When we combine glucose and fructose, resultantly we get sucrose as a product, and we get water as the byproduct. Therefore, we can call this reaction as dehydration synthesis, where we get water as the byproduct in every reaction. And the second type of disaccharides is lactose. Lactose is found in milk, and we can generally call it a milk sugar. It can be manufactured by combining glucose with galactose. Again, glucose is a monosaccharide and galactose is also a monosaccharide. When these two monosaccharides combine together, we can get a disaccharide lactose as product and water as a byproduct. The third thing is maltose. Maltose is extracted from malt, which is prepared from sprouting barley. Maltose can be manufactured by combining glucose plus glucose. Glucose is a monosaccharide, same glucose is a monosaccharide. When these two monosaccharides combine together, they form a disaccharide maltose plus water as an additional byproduct. Now come towards the oligosaccharides. I have told you earlier that disaccharide is derived from the oligosaccharides. So the main thing worth mentioning here is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides are the few sugar units which can yield 3 to 10 monosaccharides on hydrolysis. When we hydrolyze them, they can be split up into 3, 4 or 5 up to 10 monosaccharides depending on the nature of the molecule being hydrolyzed. Disaccharides are common in them. As I told you earlier that disaccharide is derived from them. So disaccharide is most common among oligosaccharides. Sugar. Now this is the point worth noticing here, that sugar containing 2 to 10 monosaccharides is often termed as dextrin. Now come towards the classification of oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides are further classified into the following classes. Besides them, there is a number of carbon atoms they contain. The examples and types of monosaccharides is also written down in the chart. The first one is disaccharides. Disaccharides contain 2 carbons. The examples are maltose, lactose, and sucrose, as we have discussed earlier. Maltose can be formed by combining glucose into glucose. Lactose can be formed by glucose plus galactose, and sucrose can be formed by glucose plus fructose. Then after disaccharides, there is the trisaccharides. Tri means 3, saccharide means sugar units. This is a sugar that contains 3 units, and their example is raffinose sugar. Raffinose can be formed by combining glucose plus fructose plus galactose. The third type of oligosaccharides is tetrasaccharides. As you can guess from the word tetra means 4, and here the example is stechios. Stechios or stechios can be formed by combining 2 galactose plus glucose plus fructose. The last type of oligosaccharides is pentasaccharides. Word penta means 5, so it contains the 5 carbons in their structure, and example is verbascose sugar. Verbascose can be manufactured by combining 3 galactose plus glucose plus fructose. Now come towards the polysaccharides. This is the third class of the carbohydrates, and this is tasteless class. They may yield 1000 sugar units on hydrolysis. They are of high molecular weight formed by the process of condensation. When hundreds, 200s or thousands, up to 1000 sugar units condense together, they can form a polysaccharide chain. They are tasteless, as I have mentioned earlier. Some common polysaccharides are: the first one is starch. It is a stored foodstuff in higher plants. Its sources are cereals, potatoes, legumes, and vegetables. It is insoluble in water. It is a long chain of monosaccharides, converts into simple sugar when hydrolyzed, and provides energy for various metabolic processes. Starch is chiefly found in plants, and human beings or animals can check it by consuming those plants. The second type of polysaccharides is cellulose. It is also a long chain of monosaccharides. It is always produced by plants, being an essential constituent of plant cell walls, helping plants to remain stiff and upright. Cellulose is abundant carbohydrate in nature. Cellulose provides firmness, rigidity to the plant cells by manufacturing their cell walls. Cellulose is the most abundant carbohydrate found in nature. The third type of polysaccharides is glycogen. It is commonly called as animal starch and somehow is starch-like, but it is most extensively branched and compact than starch. It is also insoluble in water and is stored in granular form. It is stored in muscles, in liver, in human beings and in animals. Therefore, we can call them animal starch. We can call this glycogen as animal starch. It is found in bacteria, fungi, muscle tissues and liver. Small amount of glycogen is also found in other tissues and cells, including the kidneys, white blood cells, and glial cells in the brain. Glial cells are the glue functioning cells in the brain. Now, the three main functions of carbohydrates are provision of energy. They give power to our brain and they provide strength to health, strength to heart. Therefore, we can call them the main source of heart health. Now, come towards the functions of carbohydrates. The first function is the instant source of energy. We obtain energy by just putting them into our mouth. B. Excess glucose in plants is converted into starch, and excess glucose in animals and human beings is converted into glycogen. They perform their respective functions. C. Energy provided by them is utilized in metabolism. For example, in catabolism and anabolism, the energy that we check through food, through carbohydrate containing food in our diet, helps out in metabolism. D. They act as a storage food molecules. They store the main thing that they store is energy in our body. They act as supporting structures. Now, supporting what sort of support they provide us? Being main constituent of cell walls, they provide an important support to the cell walls of plant cells. Being cell walls of the plant cells, F. They act as building material, as cellulose builds cell walls and chitin builds exoskeleton in arthropods. They also form conjugated molecules by combining with other organic compounds. Like if carbohydrates combine with proteins, they form glycoproteins. Glycoprotein is the conjugated molecule, and same by combining with other organic molecules, they can form conjugated molecules that are needed by our body. Now, come towards the good and bad carbohydrates. Good carbohydrates versus bad carbohydrates. Carbohydrates also provide us energy, but excessive carbohydrates can damage our body cells, can cause diabetes, and can cause excessive weight in our body, like that. So, good carbohydrates versus bad carbohydrates, or we can say good carbs versus bad carbs. This chart is the most important for those people who have increased weight, or they are just in need of diet that we call low carb diet. So, this chart is very much useful for them. So, good carbs are fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, beans, legumes, peas, lentils, brown rice, pure oats, pumpkin seeds, sweet potatoes, almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, whole grains, quinoa. Now, in comparison to them, what are the bad carbs that we mostly avoid in our diet, or we can just take them after 2 or 3 months, because if we need a fit body, if we want to take if we want to keep ourselves slim and smart, so we have to avoid bad carbs. So the bad carbs, what they are, that cause excessive loss to our health. They cause diseases like weight gain, diabetes, and other diseases. So the bad carbs are fruit juices. Fruit juices, like we have always this misconception in our minds that fruit juices are good to our health. Yeah, they are friendly to our health, but to some extent, not in excessive amount. The other thing is soda or pop cookies. Soda, like soft drinks, they are just enemy. They are just antagonist to our body. Cookies are that contain many carbohydrates. They are too much sweet in taste, are dangerous to our health. Pastries are dangerous. Cakes, excessive amount of cakes that contain this sugar, white sugar, is dangerous to our health. You might have heard about the white sugar, that it is a white poison, a slow poison that harms our body, that makes our body hollow inside. So this is quite dangerous to our body. In addition to them, white bread, ice cream, excessive amount, again I would say frozen yogurt, chocolates, candy, desserts, potato chips, french fries, cakes, cookies, all cereals, these are in excessive amount. I must repeat again, they all are dangerous to our health. They are unfriendly to our health. So this was all about carbohydrates. Thanks for watching.